definitely not.
Okay. So, what'd you work on this week? My CD's up front. That's cool.
I did not work on those.
Okay, they're just up front.
What I did work on was he had me listen to Bossa songs.
Okay.
A lot of them. So I have it in my head. He's been just quizzing me like, play me Bossa.
Good. Did you find any songs that you liked? Not really?
Blue Eyes.
Okay. That's the only one?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is Bossa.
If you were to give me a ballpark about how many different songs did you listen to?
Ooh.
Like a lot? Like 20?
We were like, it's the drive. We listen to a lot, but they're all kind of long. So
If
like
you were to-
Yeah, it's about 20, 25 different.
Okay.
Most of they're all they
Beta.
make a lot of pop songs into Bossa, and that's what I figured I'd start them with.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to go. That's why I tend to introduce Santana right off the bat, is because it allows you to get used to a Latin flavor, but it's still really rock, rather than just diving into like old school like classic samba. You know, it's just too much of a flavor shock right off the bat. I think most of the time, at least it was for me. You know, when I was first getting into swing, someone just handed me a Monk CD, and it was just so esoteric, and I'm like, I'm not used to this. I don't know what's going on here, you know. Whereas big band stuff was much more palatable, you know. Still would have like a backbeat to it, and there was a lot of kind of dancing, and it was like, okay, like this feels pretty good, you know, bluesy kind of stuff where it's like, okay, you know, blues, swing, you know, there's kind of a blur there sometimes, so and that helped me. So okay, was Bossa the style that you prioritized this week? So you guys listened for a lot of Bossa, but you didn't get into Mambo or Samba?
The Samba one he still likes is the Chicoria song.
The other cool thing is that Al is like a dedicated Latin drummer. Not that he doesn't do other things extremely well, but you know, he's a Latin guy. So he will likely have a lot more suggestions for, like, you know, all of my students love this one. Here, try this. You know, that kind of thing. So so he'll have some options there, which will be nice. Okay, so in that case, let me hear Bossa Form, since you've been working on it. I would like a verse and a chorus pattern, though. So, can you... that sounded good. I liked your fill choice, even. Very simple, but very Bossa flavored. So good. Excellent choice. So, give me a verse pattern, give me a fill, give me chorus pattern, give me a fill, come back to the verse, and then I'll cut you off. You play until I cut you off. Posture.
Pull it out, put it back in.
Okay, do it again, please. So, why do you think I put that on?
To let me know if I was playing the right amount of bars and at the same tempo.
Your bar counting was pretty good. It what I was struggling with is that your fills are having a tendency to drag lately. So you're playing this. You can feel this sort of, it's not quite making it there. Yeah. So even if you're doing stuff on the floor tom, try to keep it real crisp and real, clean, right on the downbeat. When you are playing these styles at home, did you play along with metronome one time? You did? Okay. At least one. Did you do it more?
He did samba to the metronome and bossa to the metronome,
Okay.
but he didn't do anything else. to
Good.
it.
Because, you should be doing it plenty with a metronome. Especially what's going to start to happen is now that you're getting more comfortable with the style, well, you're still Zayn, right? So, right? You have all these little embellishment things that you can start to add, right?
And I have.
Yes. So I'm starting to hear more of it because you're getting more comfortable, right? So as you continue to get more comfortable, you're going to add more, right?
It's not that bad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I just
You
I
just
just keep forgetting.
well, you also just got to get used to it, right? If all of your brain power is I got to make sure I remember this bossa pattern, then you're not going to embellish very much. But if I tell you to play rock, you're not really thinking too much about like, ooh, how do I play rock again? You're not thinking about it like that. It's comfortable. It's fine, So, I guess a good example is like I've been trying to learn Spanish. I'm much slower at trying to speak Spanish because I have to think about every word that comes up, whereas I'm much faster at speaking English, right? So these different styles, in a way, are different languages. They're different dialects, right? You have to translate, right? So the more that you listen, you're going to get more ideas, and when you get more ideas, you can embellish and you can do different things, right? So there's also more than two patterns, right? There's more than one thing you can do on verse, more than one thing you can do on chorus. But right now, we don't have a lot of options because it's still kind of new. Okay? So I would say just continue to listen. Try to find some stuff that you really like, and especially if you find one that you really do like, or maybe you only like it a little bit. If on your first listen you're like, that was kind of cool. Like, I guess I can get into that one. Sometimes by the second or third or even fourth time, it's like, okay, now I really like this one.
That was the Behind Blue Eyes.
Yeah.
And the out of nowhere for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually originally rock. So then when they made a bossa cover,
Yeah.
I said that sounded interesting. Then he played the rock cover for me. Now it's just.
So what's happening is you're starting to like it more because you're building familiarity. That's why you're liking it more, right? It's you won't like it as much when it's not familiar, when it's a brand new thing, right? But the more that you get comfortable with it, the more that you listen to it, you're familiar with it. It's okay. You're like, oh, I know how this goes. Cool. I'm good with it. You know what I mean? So the more that we build that familiarity, the more that you play with styles, especially once you find one that you like, just jam with it for a while. Maybe run the song 3 times. And just have fun with it. Like, what are some fills I can add? How can I change up my patterns in order to make it sound cool? Can I use the bell of the ride cymbal? Can I change up how I play my hi-hat? Can I maybe add some little, again, don't go crazy, it's not metal. You know, maybe not.
That would be fun though.
It could be, you know, so you could play around with stuff like that, but you know, ultimately still try to stay in the style more than anything else. But what's gonna make you more familiar with the style is to continue to listen. Okay, so it definitely, there's a big difference between last week and this week. I can tell that you're not scrambling as much.
I know off the top of my head.
Yeah, and I didn't have to fight you for like, how does it go? Can we sit and like, you know, try to work it out? You know, you just know. Yeah. So clearly that worked. Okay, so for the next couple weeks that I have you before I have to take my break, we should try to do the same thing with Mambo and Samba.
I've got my Mambo song down and my Samba.
You have the pattern down
I
already.
have the bossa down and I have my Samba song down. Now all I need is the Mambo song.
Mm-hmm. And it wouldn't hurt to have more than one song that you like.
Because what if that song is soca, kind of?
Yeah. And even then, you know, you like a lot of different rock songs and they've all taught you different things. You know? So even if you know, were to just pick up one extra mambo, you were to have two mambos that you really liked, two sambas that you really liked, and two bossas that you really liked. The songs might be very different, even though they're in the same style, and they can give you different ideas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So the big thing is that at the beginning, right? If you think about your progression from the beginning, what's the very first thing when you are handed drumsticks for the very first time? You're sitting down. I know you can't remember necessarily back to being this big sitting in that chair, but what is the most important thing when you're first learning?
Play it. Just try to do your best. Have fun.
Well, okay. Those things are important, but like, what's the goal? Do I just put on music and say, hey, listen to this and figure it out? No, definitely not, right?
You teach me how to play it. You teach me what the basics are.
Basics. There you go. Well, the word I was looking for is fundamentals, right?
Fundamentals.
So
yes.
you have to learn how to hold the sticks. You have to learn what direction your wrists go. You have to understand how to do doubles. You have to do all of these kinds of things, which means a lot of exercises, right? So then what happens is once you get your fundamentals down, then what do we start doing? We move from fundamentals and exercises to
songs.
Yeah, to actual music, right? So at first it's solo number 1, solo number 2, but that didn't have a track to it. It wasn't particularly musical. It was just rhythms that you were punching out on a snare drum and on a bass drum, right? Even rock and bass drum, those are all things that you could use, but you weren't playing along to anything. So then what happened is once you were done with rock and bass drum, what did we move on to? We started listening to songs, and what did I start asking you to do? Play them, but use your ears to play things that fit, that work. And you can't just on a Taylor Swift song. Sorry.
I did though.
A little bit. We could sprinkle it because it was, you know, it was a concert for kids. But I bet you if you were hired as her drummer and you did stuff like that on her stage, no, it probably wouldn't fly.
I would.
As a showcase for kids, we could get away with it, and we were laughing because we were able to get away with it. But it was getting away with it. It wasn't thriving within the style.
It was fun.
Sure. So anyway, that was learning to be musical, right? So once you're now at this point, so then you start to move into making your own musical choices, right? Being able to listen to a song and work it out on your own, which is the kind of stuff that you're doing at home with Dad, right? So you pick a song that you really like, and then you learn that song on your own, and then you make choices to augment it in ways that make it more yours, right? So it makes it sound like yours because you're making those musical choices. So that's the progression that you move up, right?
I've been doing that with the songs I've been wanting to record since the beginning of the year.
Yes. So here's the deal, though. Are you in the same place in every style?
No.
No, definitely not, right? Definitely not. No. So if you are very, very comfortable with rock/punk, right?
And metal. That too.
Well,
metal
kind of.
You're rock, dude.
Yeah, you're a rock guy. You're not a metal guy. Yeah, you can do some of that, but it's not clean. You know, you got to spend the time to clean that up. So, rock, maybe a bit of a punk, but mostly rock guy. Okay. you might be, let's say, level 4, level 5, something like that, right?
Mhm.
Whereas,
Bossa, I'm like
Bossa.
level 3 because I've been working.
yeah,
Level 2 or level
yeah,
3.
level 2, level 3, something like that, right?
Same
Mambo
with
might be more
swing.
like level 1.
Swings
you
were
know,
like 2 or 3.
Some other stuff we haven't even touched yet, like, you know, we haven't even touched reggae, for example. So we are a 0 on reggae, right? So all of that to say is that you have to, if you understand that formula, you can, regardless of whether you're working with Al, regardless of whether you're working at home, whatever it is, I'm giving you the tools in order to continue to teach yourself. Yeah? So if you're alongside somebody else who's got your back, like me, or again, like Al, or whoever else, like, they can help guide that process. But if you end up in a situation where, you know, maybe Al goes on vacation for a month and you're on your own practicing for a month, you got to think about it like that,
Him.
right?
He's my backup.
Well, you know, it's lucky for you that you do have somebody who understands. I have a lot of kids that come in here that have parents who know nothing about music, and they can't really help their kid at all. You know, they try. You know, Kyle is that way actually. You know, because Oliver has a lot of talent. So Kyle's trying to learn as much as he can so that he can help. You know, especially when they travel. Oliver's next lesson, his last one is next week because they're moving.
Well, wait.
Kyle and Oliver, and I met his wife one time, but I don't remember her name.
I don't know. I just know Kyle. Or I met Kyle, I should say.
But anyway,
She knows.
she knows, I'm sure. She works with him. But yeah, so if you get into a situation where you got to work on your own, or maybe you're working on your own passion project, you're working on a punk song, a rock song, something like that, you have to understand that formula so that you can work up. Yeah. You put something together. Okay, it's a mambo. What do you got to do? You got to learn your fundamentals first. So make sure that you know all your different patterns. You know, what is it that a mambo sounds like? What is a mambo drummer's job? You know, what kind of lead-ins do you usually have? You know, and how do you direct the band from the chair? Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you said Bossa was the only one that you worked on?
You worked a little bit on samba.
Okay.
What-
How about let me hear your samba and your mambo form so that when you start listening to it this week, I want to see kind of what level you're at, and then when you start listening and stuff, then what you sound like after you've worked on it a bit.
Yeah. I'll do samba.
Okay. So samba is going to be more like. So that was better for sure than it was last time. I will say I saw it right before you went to switch. Be careful of this. I saw your pinky finger coming way
I'm
out.
British.
Well, it's not good for drumming because you can feel
Tension.
you can feel the tension as these fingers,
I feel it right here.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
just.
because the muscles are actually connected a little bit. It's more than your other fingers. So your middle finger doesn't control your index finger as much.
That's why that's hard to do.
You can.
Yeah, that's a tough one because that finger's so weak.
I got it.
And the muscle tissues are connected. For all of our fans on YouTube.
I can do it.
But anyway,
As he holds his other finger
so
down.
if you pull your pinky finger out, you are going to make your ring finger weaker, which means that your speed is going to come down. Okay? So if you are doing really fast doubles, you can't afford to have that finger sticking out because then it's going to slow down your ring finger, which is going to slow down your doubles. Yeah? Quit doing it. Don't build it up.
This one just
Fix
goes
it.
out.
If it becomes a problem, what guitar teachers will do this too actually sometimes is they
Tape
will-
them together.
Yeah,
Oh, I
rubber-
thought
they
you
will rubber
meant
band.
whack it with a
Because at
ruler.
first they wanna do everything with just their 3 strong fingers, and their pinky finger will stick way out like this. But eventually you got to keep it close to the board because eventually you got to start using your pinky finger too. You got to use all 4 of your fingers. So
You realize you use your pinky more than your ring finger.
yeah. So anyway, all that to say,
Which one?
with drumming, in fact, Matt Cook, a guy that was at Ventura College, one of my first drum teachers, he So in order to keep me from
Actually,
doing that at the beginning.
I might
So,
do that.
If you got to do something like that, you got to rubber band the two fingers together, do what you got to do, but keep them from doing that. His other one that I'll never forget was he had a little banana sticker on the drum, because if every time I started to roll my hands, and so then he said, every time you look at that little banana, I want you to remember to roll your hands back.
Why?
I'd be playing and I'd look at that little banana and I'm like, oh shoot, I have to roll my hands back. So because I was drifting into French grip.
Ouch.
Okay. Show me a mambo, please.
Wait.
Mambo's gonna be relatively simple.
Helps if you put your headphones on, dude.
Hold on. I'm trying to figure out if I want to do or are there 3 types or just 2?
Well, that one, so you gotta decide whether you're gonna do a 2-3 or a 3-2, and you gotta stay consistent, right? So you've got that one, right? Yeah. And then the other one we kind of worked on a little bit, but it was hard and we walked away from it. That was the pair to the left. You know who's gonna bring that back? Al. Al was the one who showed it to me. Okay. All right. First pattern, fill, chorus pattern. So, yeah, where's the tone spot?
So I got it. I switched back in the first time.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
now
It's
you used to just make me verse, chorus, verse. Now verse, chorus, verse.
yeah.
But I
Because
made
you're
it
rarely ever gonna play verse, chorus, done, right?
verse, chorus, verse then.
So, yeah, so keep in mind anything that's a little bit of a struggle, right? Maybe dropping back into that pattern. On top of that, this would be slow for a mambo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like.
So, you're definitely looking at more like something like this.
What about samba?
Samba also gets up here. Mambo and samba are like the fast ones.
What about rock?
What about it?
That's fast.
So, okay. Cool. So we'll listen to some of that. Tell you what, just for fun. I know that this one's a little bit on the easier side, but let's do it anyway. Let's do a soca.
Huh?
What do you mean, huh? You know how to do a soca.
It's been a while. Also, I don't remember it that much.
Okay.
Don't wave your arrows at me. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's only one rhythm, so.
Well, they're all one rhythm. It's a
That's my
style. It's a
verse and
style,
chorus.
really.
That's my verse and chorus.
Well, but you can change up the patterns,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. These can also vary quite a bit in tempo. Let's see. Let me find what tempo I want to use.
Am I doing it right?
Yep. I'm wondering what it is.
It's the so good.
First of all, you don't have to do that. Like, you can change up your hi-hat pattern. So you can do all 8s. You can do stuff like that. You can, especially the faster you go, the more that you have to do that. You can't like. It just sounds like chaos. You know, so the faster you go, the more you're gonna want to kind of switch up to that. Okay. But so you got different hi-hat patterns that you can do. You can use the toms. If you're doing quarter notes, you can do it all up on the bell. Ding da ding da ding da ding da ding. If you're doing 8th notes, you can go back and forth. Ding da ding da ding da ding da ding da ding da ding. Or ding 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 ding, like more of an upbeat feel, right? So you can play around with those different kinds of ideas. I'll slow it down a little bit so that you're not as stressed to grab it all, and you can try to vary up your style a little bit. Yeah. Find this as you're searching for more like modern kind of pop Latin music. So as you start to search for modern samba and more kind of modern Latin stuff, you're gonna hear more and more of that. I noticed the other day, my mom can eat at El Pollo Loco, and we went to El Pollo Loco. We were sitting there, we were eating chicken or whatever, and it was like 8 songs in a row, and all of them use that pattern. Every single one of them.
Every reggaeton song.
Yeah. So they were all singing in Spanish, so I don't know any of the songs, but every single one, regardless of the tempo, whether it was a slow tempo, whether it was a fast tempo, whatever, they all used that beat. So the more comfortable you get with that beat, that can kind of be your fallback. When all else fails, if you can at least play that comfortably, you can probably get through it. Unless they grab some traditional song that their abuela grew up with. It's like then you're taking it, you're modernizing it, and they'll get frustrated, right? But some song that they all grew up with, Besame Mucho or something like that. You start trying to play a reggaeton kind of beat to that, they'll go nuts and you'll get in trouble. But otherwise, you can play anything a little bit more modern. If you drop into a soca for a little bit, you'll probably be fine. Okay?
Makes sense.
Because it is kind of like the pop sort of thing, Yeah, it's kind of poppy. Okay, cool. That'll cover it for that. Let's see. All right. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah, I'm all confused on time. Okay. First page for this.
Because all of his music fell the other day, so I had to pick it all up.
Oh, would it be in here?
It's somewhere in there. It may still even be in the backpack. Still have more papers in your backpack, or do we not pick them all up?
Okay, yeah, we're starting to get into stuff that's really old, so it's probably not in here. I think I have extras still on my stand, so we can probably just use mine. So Frito and Pink Panther both have solos, so I want you to pick one of those. But I will let you pick. How's that sound? So you get to pick between the two. Do you want to run Sofrito or do you want to run Pink Panther? Which one sounds more fun?
It's been a while since I've done either of them.
Sure has.
But you know what? I'll go with an old TV show classic.
Oh, wait a minute. Is this the rest of your stuff?
It might be.
This isn't mine, is it?
Wait, let me.
Yeah, because
I'll say based on the corners, yeah, those are his.
Yeah, that's mine back there. Okay. Because yeah, right on top was the back 2 pages of Pink Panther that I was looking for.
Oh wow, I forgot. Ugh.
Okay.
Yeah, Pink Panther.
Is that the one you picked? Okay.
Oh. That's not the song. That's a different song. What was that one called? I can't remember.
We did this last week.
I know it. It's called.
It's Dizzy Gillespie. That's all I remember.
Okay. Big Frog Cheeks Neck.
Yep. Okay, I remember it now. Not
I can't even remember. I'm not good at this.
That's funny.
You always just wanted to play that one when we
I was like,
got into your...
Greg, man, take it.
Start reading. Start catching up.
Some mobile game.
Yep. It's the same one I get to.
And now I got. Alright, we're here. Ready?
I need to remember how to do this.
Okay, well, read as you go. And again, emphasis on reading, okay? If I start to see your head if your eyes aren't on the page, well, I'm gonna pull you back and you're gonna read again, okay?
Okay,
So
if there's a fill coming up,
you can look away. But you can look back. Yeah. So your eyes don't have to be glued the entire time. But you shouldn't be gone for more than a couple bars. Yeah? So keep your eye on the page. Because you're always gonna be ahead and you're always gonna know what's coming up. If you start looking away for 5, 6, 10, 12 measures, I know you're just going off of memory. Okay? Look at the music. Alright. You ready?
I just want to hear it.
Well, yes, but you gotta read it. You go, well, I want to hear it. It's like, yeah, but you're telling me you want to use your memory and copy what's being played. I wish I had a version of this that didn't have any drums.
No.
So
I just be like.
That would be terrible. Okay,
right.
Ready? Here we go.
Go.
Okay. how much do you feel that you were reading versus how much do you feel you were reacting?
A lot more reacting.
Mhm.
I'm just not an avid reader of books, and I just can't read charts.
Whoa, time out. Say that sentence again.
I'm an avid reader of books.
You're an avid reader of books. You said you're not an avid reader. I was like, that's a lie.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
No, I'm an aphid reader of books.
Haha.
Aphid?
You're a little black bug
Exactly.
that all the chickens want to eat. Got it.
Ooh. Ooh. I don't really like to read. Meanwhile, we're all at dinner the other night and we're all eating our food and talking. There you are reading a book.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that book was Echo, and it's very good. It's by Thomas Ryan.
I'm not.
I recommend.
That's
it.
the whole point. Is
Yeah,
you
I'm not-
misspoke.
I'm not giving you crap about it. It's great that you read.
Yeah, so you should read that book.
And you should read the charts.
Yeah. Saw that one coming.
They're torturing me. I don't know.
The more you read the charts, the
Yeah.
more it'll be like you reading your books.
Mhm. It's everything gets more fun the more you build familiarity. Okay, all of it. Whether
Walk
it's
is
playing
fun.
different styles, whether it's playing along with charts, whatever it is, the more familiar you get with doing it, so the less you resist it, and the more that you just get in there and do it.
Like
You
Bossa.
what you have to do is even when you really don't want to do something,
Do it.
it's important that you trust the people who know that it will be worth it in the long run, right? One of the ones that I have to do with new students all the time that you don't even really have to think about anymore is doubles. Was learning doubles fun?
No.
Absolutely not.
Like the Taylor Swift girl.
Like just
Oh god, you should
ta
cry.
ta
Yes.
ta 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 ta, trying to be really clean with all of your motions, whatever. But then as soon as you can, brrrr, now it's fun, right?
It's more fun.
It's
Like
a lot.
Bossa.
It's
like
a lot
Bossa.
more fun. Yeah.
I've gotten.
Yeah.
Bossa's not that bad. It's just.
Exactly.
It's like a.
So
odd-
all of
it's
these things that you
hard.
don't really want to do or you don't feel super comfortable, rather than thinking about it like I don't want to do it, you're just not comfortable yet. And then as you get more comfortable, it's going to be a lot more fun. Okay? Again, I went through exactly your situation. I switched instruments because everybody kept telling me that you have to play jazz if you're going to be a sax player. And I was like, okay, then I won't be a sax player. And I switched over to drums. They're like, gotcha. You still need to learn how to play jazz. So, and I ran away from it. I didn't want to do it. And then finally, when I buckled down and I learned it, it actually is pretty fun to play.
Yeah, it can be.
It can be, right?
Remember
but
how-
it will get
Out of
more
nowhere.
so the more comfortable you get.
Like out of nowhere.
All of these
That
charts have
was
gotten more fun the
absolute
more that
torture.
you were singing Manteca the other, like just a few minutes ago. Like the Duke Ellington is fun, right? You've got these other ones that you, sure, but you have other ones that are fun, right? So it's just a matter of building that comfort, building the familiarity. And the only way to do that is to get in there and to actually do it. You have to listen to it, you gotta play along with it. That's what's gonna build it. And then it will be fun and it'll be worth it. So whenever you don't wanna do it, just remember back on my words, you know? Every time that you've told me, no, I hate this, I don't wanna do it, once we work on it, you get the hang of it, it ends up being fun. Okay? So you just got to push through it and you got to do the things that you don't really want to do, knowing that in the future you get to things that are more fun and then it's worth it, right? It was worth pushing through when you weren't comfortable and didn't know what to do. Okay? All right.